Hey everyone, welcome to my office hours. I'm back after spending a week in Boston for the HubSpot Inbound conference, and it's good to be back. Good to be back in Liberty Lake and back in the groove. Um, like I mentioned the last time, this isn't meant to be about riffs on things. It's really to answer questions, to provide access. I'll give people a couple of minutes to join. I had to cancel last week's AMA, and I think it erased every future event as well. So give people a minute or two to hop on. It'll pop up in Facebook that I'm live. But just to recap, as I mentioned last week, as I mentioned on my Facebook page and other socials and email, this is meant to be a time for people to hop on, ask me questions, engage with me directly in a more scalable way than events and going door to door. I will also use it if people have any questions ahead of time. You can engage with the chat bot on my website. You can send me an email, send me a DM on social. A lot of different ways to reach me and ask me the question. Only had one person, someone that was anonymous, engaged with my chat bot while I was in Boston last week, asked if I was Republican or Democrat. And I've answered this a million times, but I'll answer it again. I'm neither. It's a nonpartisan race, and I'm neither. So I'll answer that again for the millionth time. But I don't really think it matters what party you are, especially in a nonpartisan event campaign. So that's that. I have two people on. Welcome. If you have a question, please enter it in the comments. I've only had one question so far in the last week. So I'd love to hear a question, a topic you'd like me to cover, talk about my views on something. Otherwise, if there aren't any questions in a couple of minutes, going to wrap it up because I'm not going to use this time to riff on things. This is really just a time to engage with people. So see, there's two people on. I can't see who the people are. I can just see two people who are here on Facebook. So say hi if you want to say hi. Otherwise, ask me a question and give it a couple of minutes. Yep, one is my wife. I knew that. So one other person checking in. But since I'm not going to use this to riff and rant while we're waiting on others to join or a question to come in, we'll just mention the experience I had this weekend getting back from Boston. There's a hurricane, Hurricane Lee. I haven't seen what it's doing today, but it's pretty far away. At least it was Friday in the Atlantic Ocean, and didn't realize what impact a hurricane can have being so far away. The weather forecast in Boston and along the East Coast showed no rain the entire time I was there. Go to the airport, starting to lightning, thunder. There we go. Hey, Nicole, thanks for the question. I was just killing time waiting for a question. So what do I think about the proposed sales tax? I haven't seen it. So that's something, thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'll look into that. I can just tell you that I don't really like many new taxes at all. If there is a tax, I would prefer that it be something like sales tax. That is, I mean, you basically have a choice to pay it or not, buy things or not buy things. And for us, we can go to Idaho and buy something. So I don't like taxes, but if there are going to be taxes, I like that they can be avoided. through choice and not just mandatory. Definitely opposed to income tax. Um, but yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I've not heard about that, but I've been out of the loop for a week. So, um, what is it? I know it's hard to just you type and I talk. It's much easier to talk. What is it for? What was the proposed purpose? What's it supposed to pay for? I guess is the question I have. But yeah. Anyway, I'll take a look into that, road maintenance, etc. Um, yeah, I mean that's a part of growth, right? We're gonna have to. I mean, roads need to be maintained, bridges need to be maintained. I thought that is what the federal infrastructure bill was supposed to be. I'm not sure how much of that we've received. Hopefully, if it was offered, we took it. It would be very reckless to not take money uh, given to us for things like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, roads need to be maintained. I think we have a pretty healthy tax base as it is. We continue to grow. That's just going to increase the tax base the way it is. I would have to see what the numbers are, and I know that in October, I think um, next year's budget will is basically is what's going to be talked about. And so I plan to either go in person to those city council meetings or tune in via Zoom, so that when I win in November, I can hit the ground running for that stuff in November when it has to happen. And I'm sure that that will be discussed there. But I'd like to see what the budget looks like. What are there gaps in what we propose will need to be needed for road maintenance and things like that? I mean, we just built a big bridge and had enough money for that, so we should have enough money to maintain if we plan to grow like we do. So personally, I don't see why we would need to impose another sales tax or increase the sales tax to pay for that. Um, when our tax base is growing. So that's something that as we start to dig into the budget, I'll be very curious to see what that's looking like compared to what our um, revenue is from taxes locally. So yeah, but as a whole, I am not a fan of new taxes. We need to have some taxes, but because I mean that's just we gotta pay for the government to take care of things like that. Um, Nicole asked, "What do I think about creating a community pool in Liberty Lake, either partially or fully funded by the city?" Um, I mean, I feel like ever since I moved here in 2016, people have been asking about a public pool. Um, Personally, I don't really care. I would. I don't really see the need for one. Um, but I mean, I think that's something that what I would rather see is like a YMCA or something that can be multifunctional. Um, that's also privately funded. That also has a pool for the community. I know the Croc in Coeur d'Alene is a YMCA, I believe. Um, Great indoor pool. Lazy River, took our son there 2021 for swimming lessons. Um, Climbing wall, exercise facilities, events, um, conference rooms. Um, to me, I would rather see something like that has a broader function. And maybe the city contributes some to it, but for the most part, it's privately funded, rather than just a pool that's just open during the summer, limited availability. A lot of maintenance goes into pools. So not only is it expensive to build, it's expensive to maintain. And I'd personally rather have nicer roads. If I had to pick where our money goes, I'd rather have nicer roads and infrastructure than a public pool. That's just my take. But again, it's not about me. It's about what the people want. And, I wouldn't be opposed to putting something on the ballot and let people vote for it. I mean, that's democracy, right? I don't think that's really a city council thing. I think the people should tell us what they want. And if 60% of the people want a public pool, then we find a way to make it happen. But personally, I would rather see something that is multifunctional, multi-purpose, can be more than just, and actually the revenue from some of the other activities will help fund the maintenance of the pool. So it's not just one thing. So, but pools can be costly. And that's a burden on our city budget. So that's my take on it. But again, I would rather put things like that out to a public vote than leave it up to 7 people on a city council to decide. So yeah, thanks for that question as well. I know that's come up a lot, and I've seen it on socials, and people have brought it up from time to time. So yeah, appreciate that question as well. So I'd love to know what Michael's thoughts are on that. Let's see. So my opponent asked the city administrator how they made it right with the candidates regarding sign removal. Thoughts on the administrator's comments at the last meeting. I mean, made it right. They gave us our signs back, and they apologized. One of my volunteers picked up my signs the other day. He said there was actually a large number of my signs there. And so I asked the city administrator, like, were these all signs picked up by accident a few weeks ago, or did some of these end up there some other way? But I mean, I haven't listened. I was in Boston during the last meeting with pretty full days, so I didn't get a chance to listen to the last meeting. But I mean, everybody had their signs pulled down. They apologized. It was a mistake. I mean, you just roll with it. You do what you can with what you've got where you are. I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt who said that. So instead of complaining, instead of crying, we just went out and put our signs back up. That's what you do. You get up. When you get knocked down, you get up. You don't cry about it. You don't whine. You don't complain. You don't throw tantrums when someone vetoes something that your donors were counting on you to pass. So that's my take on that. That's really all the thoughts I have on the signs. I don't want to talk about the signs anymore. That's kind of a tired topic. Time to move on from that as far as I'm concerned. So thanks for asking about that. I got mine back. I got an apology. That's all. It was a mistake. It's nothing malicious. I mean, if you want to go around spewing conspiracy theories, and I guess that's what MAGA does, but it is what it is. It was a mistake. It was owned. There was an apology. The signs were given back. We went and put ours back up in the meantime, and we're moving on. So thanks for that. Any other questions? Nicole, you've been great at lobbing these. Like, you should maybe be a host at a debate or something. So these have been good questions. I appreciate it. Because I was just going to talk about how I got stuck in Boston, had to spend the night in Minneapolis, and then had to go straight to my kids' flag football game the next morning as soon as I got in from the airport, and then from there straight to Pullman for the Cougs game, and then finally got home and in my bed at 11 p.m. on Saturday. So yeah, I really appreciate your questions, because I don't think anybody really cared about my travels. They care about as much about that as they do about signs being removed. So Yeah, true. Cool. Well, anything else? We've got 3 people on. I know Kyla and Nicole are here. Not sure who the third person is. It's like I mentioned, I can't see until you comment in the comments. I can't see who's here because of Facebook privacy or whatever. I guess they just would rather you just be a voyeur than show your face. But anyway, whoever the third person is, if you have questions, welcome to my live stream. Nicole has asked a lot of great questions. So if you relate to any of my answers, this is recorded every week, and you can go back. Probably for your benefit, put me at 2.0 speed and get through it. But yeah, I've answered her questions, and they were all good questions, and questions I hear people talk about a lot. So cool. And the third person dropped off. So, all right. Well, thanks, Nicole, for leading this. appreciate your help and lobbing some questions my way. It's been very helpful. I will look into the sales tax and get more information on that and really understand that a little bit better. And so thanks for bringing that to my attention. And yeah, as always, if you have questions, shoot them to me ahead of time. If you want to come here, engage like Nicole has, this has been great. This has been probably the best one yet, just because of these good questions and this engagement. So we'd love to see more of this from more people in the community. Like I said, it's just an easier way to engage in real time at scale with as many people as possible. I mean, the whole city could probably hop in here at one time, pepper me with questions, but then I'd have to get a moderator and somebody to actually field them and organize them for me. But we'd figure out a way, because that's what we do. And so all right. Really appreciate Nicole, Kyla stopping by. Appreciate anyone who has watched this and gotten this far. Hopefully you were at double speed to cruise through it. And again, the walk and talk is back on, but now it's on Saturdays, because Fridays, now that school has started, and we have 2 kids in school this year. Friday mornings, any morning before 9:30 is just going to be pretty hectic. So the walk and talk is now Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Meet at Rocky Hill Park in the parking lot. RSVP, go to the Facebook page. There is a link that I sent out today to RSVP. It's also in the newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to my email, Monday email, today was Tuesday. Every Monday I send out an update on things. And yeah, so have links there, RSVP, because if I don't know who I'm looking for, I don't know who I'm waiting for, I will just leave at 8 o'clock on the dot. So hope to see you there. Hope to see you here next week, and see you soon.